Welcome back to Adjacent with Jace, the tabletop interview review show for Adventures in Euphoria, brought to you by the Black Tower Stories. I am, of course, your host, Jace. And with me today, returning again, with flying fists and determined skills, he can't read lists and he can't pay for proper bills, showing Volred the best creams around, finding a store with salves and cures abound. He came up with the name after too much Bacardi. Please give a hand to our returning guest, Ari.
Hi. You know what? I'm gonna give that one a round of applause.
Yay.
I think I had an aneurysm halfway through that, so we're just gonna go with that. But that was great. I'm content with that.
I had to change the word party to Bacardi because I used it last time.
That's fair.
But thank you for showing up. We're both in our tavern seats wearing the same blue shirt, so we are ready for the show. A lot of questions already piling in, but I like to start things off with the simple, easy lob, get things going with what is your perception of things so far with everything? How do you feel these sessions have gone?
I feel like I'm just piggybacking off of what everybody else says. The session has been terrible. Horrible for me. I'm kidding. But Arthur has definitely been told to shut up more times than I thought he would. So that's an interesting starting point. But as a whole, I think everybody's starting to come into their characters a little bit more, and we're starting to learn more about each other. So I definitely think there's some more progress that can be made, but things are good. Things are turning out really well.
To quote Volred, I believe the statement was "less is more."
Yeah.
Which was a quote of him quoting you, I believe.
Yeah. And then he actually said, "You should talk less." I was like, "Oh, okay, great. There we are." It was like, okay, cool. I guess I'm just going to sit back here. And I think that's also when we found out that Arthur couldn't read. So, yeah.
A little curious about the developments of your character, whether or not they're actually written down or it's just like, you know what? I can't read now. But we'll get on to some questions. We'll see if some of these get addressed in the questions here. Let's go with first question. You are currently playing a monk. How have your previous characters and campaigns impacted your decision to play Arthur?
That's actually pretty interesting. I haven't played a monk in forever. One of my first D&D characters was a monk, and I loved it in 3.5, and I was like, okay, cool, maybe I'll revisit that character at some point or another time. And then we did a one-shot where Volred was actually playing a monk, and I was watching the dynamics of the character and how it functions and how you play it, and I was like, you know what, cool, I'm gonna make a character that's a monk, and let's bring back the glory days. And then I get Arthur, so not sure how glorious that is, but we're making do. We're making do.
The acrobatic failure that is the sailor.
Hey, I don't think I failed an acrobatics check.
I don't know.
I failed like all of my hits for the first two fights.
Just flailing. Stop it. I'll go on to the next question. Let's see. Ooh. Was it part of your master plan for Arthur to be illiterate, or did that just happen? There, look, we're getting right into the question.
Yeah, let's just go straight into it. No, it was definitely a choice in the moment that I immediately regret after saying it. But I was like, you know what? It's canon now. We're gonna do this. My workaround on that will come up a little bit later, but let's just say that Arthur can read certain things, but cannot read the most common of things.
He can identify over 30 different memes and what they mean.
Exactly.
He speaks in memes.
Doesn't even know what north, south, west, and east are.
Those
He's
are
just like,
letters.
Let's go that direction. You go that direction. Okay, cool. I got it. We're good.
Land over there.
That's it. Captain.
Point.
There's land over there, Captain.
Which direction?
That way.
The squiggly line one. They're all squiggly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the one with the 3 points heading in one direction. Well, somewhat.
Somewhat in the same direction. That's either west or east.
As long as we get there. That's what matters. As long as we get there.
Yeah, they lost. On to the next question. Arthur, any chance we could get Arthur's realm first impressions of the party mates? That was from Eric, I believe. So it's really...
Realm first impressions. As in, like, when I first
what are
actually...
Arthur's first impressions of the party now? He probably meant
real first
probably.
impressions. Oh, okay. So Arthur, Arthur originally probably would have just seen everybody as cargo, to be quite literal, because half of them were traveling on the ship just to get from point A to point B. Gander, I wouldn't have thought too much of.
He was cargo. That was correct.
He was definitely cargo in my head. Like in Arthur's head, it would definitely have been like, okay, we just got to get him from point A to point B. Izal, I would say he was probably a little intimidated by Izal, just because it's this very short dwarven woman who carries around a whole bunch of weapons and probably has a whole bunch of battle stars, wears very minimal clothing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but like the confidence behind it was probably intimidating there. Volred, I would have just left Volred alone. Arthur would have just been like, no, shadowy figure, sits in a cloak, likes to wear a mask. I'm gonna avoid that.
But then he had to go and save your life. Like an asshole.
But then he had to save my life. And then I was like, dang. All right, well, I owe you something. No sexual advances, by the way. We clarified that. We got that squared away.
He just likes to watch. It's fine.
It's a voyeur is what they call those. So then we would have finally made it on land, and then I would have met Gorbek and Calum. Gorbek, first impression for Arthur was just annoying. Like, just played out the way that he talked, how aggressive he was. He got hit by that kid, and I was like, you're not even effective, but I can't really talk much because I almost went down on the ship. And then Calum's kind of cool. I would say Calum was probably the more realistically normal of everybody that Arthur's had the opportunity to meet.
I'm normal up north. I'm strange down south.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Calum would probably be the most normal of everybody out there, and so Arthur would have been like, okay, cool. This is the focal point. This is our foundation. If I have a problem, I need to go to Calum. Calum needs to be the problem solver. But yeah, that's probably those are the first real impressions that Arthur would have had with each individual person. Now, if we're talking now, Izal is probably the voice of reason next to Calum, which is still surprising because Izal just likes to hit things.
When all you have is a hammer, a lot of your problems start looking like nails.
You don't just have a hammer, though. You have an axe, 15 javelins, another axe. Now. Whatever.
Sometimes nails take strange shapes that need to be slashed or bludgeoned or pierced.
Gander, at this point, is just someone that Arthur feels bad for. Because he ran away from fights originally. He has some potential to be good in fights, and he saw whenever he crit the cockatrice. But then apparently he had this run-in with somebody, and now he's just a sad, drunken mess. He's turned into our sad e-boy, and like Arthur is just like, okay, I feel bad because I kind of treated him like crap, but now he's feeling like crap, and I can't let that happen. Volred obviously is probably the closest person to Arthur at this point in time, even though we don't talk about anything outside of finding whatever this potion is that he needs. Um, Caleb, again, a voice of reason, but he is solely responsible for all of the mess that Gorbeck is. So like Arthur is like, I'm just gonna leave all of that to Caleb, and we're gonna hope that works out.
That's on you.
That's it. That's what it is. But those are that would be my impressions currently.
Yay! Didn't fall too far down. Stay in the top 10. That's my goal.
Top 10.
Let's go with another question. Hey, it's for me. How does Izal feel having more people in her party and not just Gander? It's like, it's not really. She's not too crazy about any of the situation. It's just her goal was to get Gander to where he needed to go. That was done. Now I can't just leave him there, so gotta take him wherever else he wants to go. It's just, as Jess said, more nails. So the party being there, I understand. It's all more of functionality over like the looks of something. So the party functions well together. That's okay, as long as it gets there to solve the problem. Then yeah, she doesn't really interact intimately with people, although Gander's getting to be a real pain in the ass having to. She doesn't want to leave him alone now because it's kind of treat him like Gander, like with Gander or Gorbeck. Doesn't want to leave Gorbeck alone because she's starting to feel like, oh, it's like Gander. It's almost useless. Fuck, I can't be in two places at once.
Stress. I actually have a question for you.
What?
I'm curious. Why do you keep disappearing?
I was bored. I had to go do stuff. I had to get javelins because I'm down to one javelin. And I had to go meet with somebody that I wanted to go talk to.
You just had to go meet with someone?
Yeah.
And get javelins.
I went back to the guild hall. That's what I said.
So who's at the guild hall?
Well, who did we meet at the guild hall? There's that crazy dude who sounds like he's from Jersey. There's him.
Then there's the nice, I would assume the barbarian woman that we probably pissed off on the way out.
I did not piss her off.
I'm going to say we, because we as Sweet Nut Milk
I got some questions about that one. That's for sure.
We are a group of people. And I was like, wait, Izal doesn't leave Gander. And Izal is leaving Gander. You made it a point to even say, I went back to the guild hall. I sent you off and left.
Well, I'm not going to go point fingers at who's looking for what, but there was someone at the guild hall that Izal wanted to go apologize for because someone was an asshole. So I went and apologized for that. So, and I got javelins.
Cool. Because I thought you were going to hit it and quit it. That was literally my phrasing inside the last episode, because I was like, oh my goodness, go Izal, get you some. But, cool. Thank you for the clarification.
I had to go apologize.
Apollo Lion is what you're doing, but it's okay.
Look, my personal life inside the game is up to me.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. If you want a real specific reason why I left Gander, it's because Gander is my direct competition for tall, strong people. So, just throwing that in there.
So you went back to the
tall, strong person. That's right.
The barbarian woman. Yes. Choices, flexibility. Got some options out there. I like it.
Get Gander out of here for that one. So that was a question for me from you. That was neat. I got a lot of questions for you, but I'm gonna try to see if the chat asks them first before I go into them. So Arthur, what is Arthur's favorite food? That seems kind of lame.
Wow, that was kind of rude. Honestly, that is kind of a weird question because I've not delved into the delicacies of D&D. So really the only thing that we consistently eat is the meat trays or the meat assortments that are brought out at breakfast after we've slept a hard day. We don't eat much in D&D now that I think about it. We usually just go get breakfast, go adventure somewhere, go the whole day, come back and drink. till we don't have anything else to do, and then pass out and then try to wake up and start it over again.
Sounds about right. Although the chat is saying you do have a D&D cookbook that you could use as a reference.
Okay. But I was talking, like you said, what is Arthur's favorite food? Mm-hmm. So I mean, if we're doing the cookbook, I would say the halfling stew.
Do love a good stew.
I do too.
Meaty
love
stew.
A good stew.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, next question. I think we've answered the food of what you like to eat the most. Another question for you. Since Arthur can't read, do you feel this is going to be a major issue for the character? How do you plan on working around this?
Yes, this is going to be a very big issue somewhere down the line. I am in a party of people who all know how to read and are literate. At least know how to get by with basic reading skills. It's gonna be rough. I just know, because Eric doesn't let anything pass as a DM. So regardless of whether or not it impacts me here in the next like couple of episodes, or if it's gonna be 5 or 6 levels down the road, I know that's gonna come up and it's going to bite me in the ass. So Kilmo, I might be taking you up on those reading lessons. But it's definitely going to hurt. It was a decision that was made in a rush moment, and I feel like that was one of those tactical stupidity moments must be punished, you know? So yeah.
In case of emergency, break glass, except for it's trapped. Yeah, now you're trapped.
And I can't read to know. I mean, Arthur would probably just punch it anyway, but you know, we'll get there when we get there.
So I'm going to start with my question, because I looked through and the upcoming questions aren't based around this. Okay. Why sweet nut milk, sir?
It's the one thing that has stuck with me throughout this whole campaign. When Eric decided that he was going to explain a healing potion as sweet nut milk, after we had just talked about the cockatrices, a rock in a hard place, like all of a cock in a hard place is what the end all be all was that. Sweet nut milk is just, dare I say, it just rolls off the tongue. You did. And why not? Why not?
Eric, I can go back and find the clip. I'm pretty sure I put it as a highlight. No, I think I put it as a highlight where you say sweet nut milk. But faintly of almonds. You also said other things, Eric. The original video is no longer on our Twitch, but it is on our YouTube, which means I have the file. I will go and edit a small one and upload that for you. It should be relatively easy for me to find, but sweet nut. My issue with sweet nut milk, other than like lactose intolerant people who could finally have something they can enjoy, it was never said in game. It's not an in-game statement. That's my major issue. Like, if the party went around and started saying this tastes like sweet nut milk, okay, now it's an in-game joke, but it's an out-of-game joke. So like, there's no reason that's why I was like, sweet nut milk. Why would we name ourselves after the taste of a health potion? That's stupid. We've only used like 2 of them.
Well, okay, then we'll clarify that as it's Arthur's favorite drink.
He loves almond milk.
Almond milk. And the acronym is S&M.
The acronym's good.
It's great. That's absolutely fantastic. And so, yeah, we're just going to run with sweet nut milk because that's the thing that I remember, and I'm going to keep it. You're going to have to fight me for the rest of the time because we're going to be DBA, S&M, doing business as Sweet Nut Milk, or we will be the guild formerly known as Sweet Nut Milk, and it's going to be a symbol, something. I don't know what it is.
Rab Jordan the Hung with the, if it's not canon, then we'll just change the name to Jizz Incorporated. I was talking with Momo, our moderator, today about potential names. Like, how do we keep this idea without it being completely off. And like our name, even like the first letters of our names don't really work well. But
No, I think am I the only?
you're an A, but we have two
Yeah.
G's. So like we have a K, E, and L. So there's a Kel that I could use, but Kelgag, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if we can follow Sweet Nut Milk with gag. I don't think that's gonna work.
Kellag.
Kellag, like Kellogg.
Kellogg cornflakes. Sweet
Kellogg.
nut milk almond juice.
Yes, we actually start our own. That's how we retire out. We start our own cereal company called Kellogg or Kellogg.
Let's go on to another question because I wanted to get the sweet nut milk out of my mouth, and that was an option. boy howdy. Keep the questions coming if you have anything else you'd like to ask either one of us. But there's a question. Arthur, if you had to pick another player in this party, who would you like to RP as?
Like B? Who would I be?
That's what the question is formed, is like, how would you like to RP as?
That's really difficult just because everybody is their own entity. Everybody plays certain things the way they're going to play them, and I don't think I can emulate anybody in our group. But if I were to like pick somebody's class, I would definitely take Gorbex because I love playing a bard. Jeez. But if I was gonna like try to play somebody's character, I think that Gander's character would be interesting to play.
A nerd.
Nerd kind of doesn't. I say this with the kindest of hearts. Doesn't really do anything.
I think we both said
But-
at this point.
But ostracize people, and I'm good at that. So I feel like that would be the character that I would RP as.
Apparently kind of racist towards dwarves. But,
Just a little. Just a little. Make it work.
probably shouldn't get him drunk all the time.
Well, I mean, he also said kill all humans with me, Zach, which I was like, we still need to talk about because we never addressed the fact that he just yelled kill all humans. So
Probably shouldn't train him to kill better then.
yeah,
Oof.
you probably should. If he's going to say stuff like that.
It's going to draw the wrong attention. The chat trying to find a name using the words. We have a Vaggek, which, it just sounds bad. Vaggek.
Kavag.
It's
Who's the V?
Volred.
Volred.
So
Oh, Lord.
We don't have an L. I was wrong. We have a V.
I was like, wait, who's the V? We. Vagek.
No.
I can't.
No.
I can't. We're not doing that.
You said, you also said, who's the V? And
Yeah.
you literally talked the Volred the most out of anybody.
I do. Sometimes I forget things, man.
Whoops.
Ekvag. We're not doing the vag thing, dude.
Ekvag.
Gagvek. See, I could probably get behind Gagvek.
It's just a weird word. So
They're
none of
they're
them flow.
not words.
There's
They're
too
not
many
words.
G's. Too many G's in this
They're
thing.
not words.
We need to introduce a new character with a better letter. We need like a vowel or something.
Oh, well, I mean, when Gorbeck dies, we can get another vowel.
Try to buy another vowel. Question for Jace. How long does it take to usually come up with your intro lines? 5 minutes. I'll sit down and write and just kind of go over it. And then have to change what word rhymes when I've already used it because I refuse to repeat myself. That's about it for that. I mean, I enjoy it. Rhyming's fun for me.
They're great. They're very cringeworthy for the person who's sitting in the chair.
I want
but
you to hear it.
It's quality content for everybody else that's watching. I've been watching your episodes and I laugh every time.
Quality. Our next question on here is a question that I have put together, and it starts with a statement. And the statement is, the boobs are fake, but the smile is real. Who said this, and why?
That would be my mother. As I tried to explain to Captain Silverleaf during our brief conversation, that my mother tried very hard to teach me wise words about perspective and what you're trying to find and what you're looking for. So if you're looking at the fake boobs, it might make you happy, but they're fake. If you look up and just take a quick look at the face and see that the smile is real, you can have that emotional connection, and there's that perspective. But I just said that because I was a little tipsy and wanted to make something up. So there you go.
So, are there any other sayings coming from your family that'll pop up? Or are we just going to will you just create your family and your backstory based off of sayings you say?
So I do have family backstory, but the sayings will probably just happen. They will probably just happen and show up as they do. I will say some of them are tailored statements that my mom has actually said to me at some point or another, but we'll leave those open for everybody to guess.
Was it the boobs one?
It's not the boobs are fake, but the smile is real. I wish my mother said that to me.
It's like, look at me, son. The boobs might be fake. Oh boy. So like a random saying, like my uncle used to say that doesn't matter how you get the money, it's how you spend it.
Yeah.
Sound like your uncle's quite the grifter.
They're gonna be very hit or miss. Like I didn't know where I was going with the whole Santa's heavy sack.
That was
statement.
Another one.
But we got there, and that's what matters.
Just unraveling the story real time. It's like,
yeah.
When the weight's too much for your shoulders to carry, try to drag it behind you.
We're gonna get there.
Anything could be a saying if you don't care about it enough.
Exactly. And I think Arthur's family has instilled a lot of wisdom behind dumb phrasing. So yeah.
I had the feeling that you were one of those characters that had, I'm an orphan and I'm a sailor. What would your parents? Question. Develop this question just now. What do your parents think about you volunteering on a ship for 5+ years?
I am not an orphan. This is getting into a little bit more of my backstory than I intended to, but for those of you who are watching, both of his parents are still alive, but Arthur made some decisions after being sent away somewhere that have impacted him living on a ship for 5 years. And so parents, I'm not going to say that they're entirely knowledgeable that Arthur decided he wanted to just kind of become a vagabond. But that's something that can play out a little later.
I mean, it sounds like Arthur didn't know he became a vagabond either. He just got on a ship.
Yeah, Arthur.
I thought I was getting paid.
Like I said, Arthur made some decisions early on and has had to make do with the decisions that he made.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my parents are dead, so.
Oh, well, they're
but
zealous.
Not in a sad way. They just got really old.
Oh, that's good. Natural causes.
Yeah, the parachute didn't open.
Natural. Gravity is natural.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just really old. Question for Arthur. We saw more interactions with Arthur and the crew. He's been a part of them for a very long time. Is Arthur starting to see an end to his time with his ship family, or are the connections too strong for him to leave yet?
Again, the realization of that there could have been payment throughout this whole period of time has kind of jaded Arthur's view of some of the crew. But Arthur is also a man of promises and a man of values. And so when he makes a deal with someone, he's going to follow it through. He may not have like the biggest goals in mind, but if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So at this point in time, Arthur is kind of battling with the idea of having to leave the ship. But he's made a promise to Volred to help him find this potion or this remedy for whatever his affliction is. And so Arthur is going to devote some time there too. I don't think I'll ever not be a member of the ship or a crew, but I may have to take some time away, maybe pull a Calum and just kind of do my own thing for a moment, and then come back.
Caleb did his own thing for a moment for like 5 years, just kind of wandered around. Was like,
for a long time.
I'll go back to school eventually. Just didn't.
Yeah, you know, Caleb did it, so why can't Arthur?
Well, one of you could read.
That's fair. So again, Arthur is going to have to take Caleb up on his education, because this might get a little tricky.
Question. Having made it on the Deadpool, but Gorbek took a giant lead in the last session, how is Arthur feeling about the Deadpool now?
Well, Arthur doesn't know about the Deadpool.
Okay, alright.
But I was still surprised that I was surprised I made it on the Deadpool when, for any other reason other than me almost going down in that first fight, which is session 0, and I wasn't on the Deadpool at that point in time at all. So when I appeared on the Deadpool, my initial thought process is, what did I do to deserve being put on the Deadpool? And I asked the person who was in charge of the Deadpool, which is our moderator, Momo, or Momod, and he quickly advised me that he put me on the Deadpool, and pretty high up on the Deadpool, because Arthur has a phobia of otters. So that was surprising. And the fact that Gorbek wasn't immediately like leading the Deadpool throughout this whole period of time was surprising to me.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's safely in the lead now for quite some time, given he has taken more damage than anyone else in the entire party put together. He's taken more damage out of combat than anyone's taken in combat.
I mean, how much damage has he taken in combat, though, in comparison to his out-of-combat damage?
He took in combat. I don't think he's been hit in combat. From what I wrote it down last one, but
all of his damage is out of combat damage.
He's been hit, I think, once in combat, but he's taken 2 points from a child, 8 points from falling off a roof, and 28 points from that fire incident. And I believe it was, let me check my note real quick because I wrote this one down to add to the stats. It was 9 points of poison that he got for just
drinking that
he's licking stuff he's not supposed to. So yeah, he should be in the lead until someone actually dies.
That's what I'm saying. Indefinitely.
Until someone's making death saving throws, Gorbek should probably be in the lead.
I am starkly convinced that he probably would have died if Eric made him do death saving throws this last round.
When I have Bevo on again, I'm gonna bring up the dice roller and I'm gonna have him roll me some death saving throws. I want to see it. We're gonna need some closure on that.
I want to know. Please do. I'm excited for this, and I will be.
That's something to look forward to. And if you're not sure about what possibly might have happened in the last session, because maybe you missed it, you missed the most exciting part. It happened very early in the session last time. Our friend Gorbek, the goblin bard who doesn't know when to not try so hard, decided to sneak around in a wizard's mansion and traverse into a very dangerous place and do a nice B&E to their wizard tower, and just knocked on a window a little too hard with a rock. And as an example of what happens when you do that, here is a picture from Britmix Studios of one very toasty gander, or Gorbek, sorry, too many G's. This was art drawn by Britmix Studios during the last session. We saved it for this one. This is the debut of it. It will find its way into the rotation of images shown during the stream as well. As you see, we have a little bit of fire on his right ear and his left foot. Nude as the day he was born, I am assuming, was no clothes can survive that horrible 28 points of fire damage. So, got the stripes on there too. That's nice. That poor mohawk though. Extra crispy gander. Gorbek. Jeez. Yeah. Next when Bevo dies, make him make a new character. No G's allowed. I mean,
no G's.
Gorbek dies. When Bevo dies, we don't want Bevo to die. He's the good friend.
Oh, yeah, let's not do that.
Kill PCs, not players. That is the rule in Dungeons & Dragons. It's right in the front where it says the rules also don't matter.
Ugh.
But yeah, Gorbek should forever be in the lead, just forever.
I don't know. We might make some. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's always gonna run into a battle that you probably shouldn't. But we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that be.
I literally run face first into combat, and I just like I'm blessed by the gods or something.
I feel like you provoke combat too, though. Like you're trying really hard to provoke additional combat after stuff has already been done. Like previously, whenever we tried to keep one person alive, you were just sitting there smashing your axe to a rock.
Scared. They were restrained. They weren't doing anything. I was trying to scare that person very effectively. And when we're just gonna turn him in, like I broke his leg. Come on, he's not gonna die from that.
Are you sure you were trying to scare them, or you were just not? And you weren't just upset that you didn't really.
I was also very upset that I did not get to initiate the combat I wanted and had to go pick a fight with an elf. Those barely count as combats. Elves don't know what they're doing. Anyway.
Wow. Do we have no, we're good. Except for, we don't know.
Volred, who knows? He could be wearing like a full-on ear prosthetic.
No idea. We have no idea.
Anyway, it was a moment of frustration. I had to put out some frustration on a rock. Yeah, I don't initiate extra combat. I'm all for not fighting, but when the fight starts, I want to hit things. I'm not an expert negotiator, and I certainly don't start off a conversation with yelling "sleep."
Well, I mean, Arthur's apparently a negotiator, but he's not super good at it. He's just very persistent. So, I mean, persistence is key.
Just being the Arthur of the deal is the name of the last session for a reason.
That's funny.
You convinced us somehow to here in the party sweeten up milk, S&M.
DBA.
Well, doing business as is on the paperwork. That's not part of the name. DBA, the S&M. So, but technically we're S&M, not sweeten up milk. Because I did not put sweeten up milk. It is just S&M.
Yeah, Arthur agreed to have that happen. Like, he's still going to call everything sweet nut milk. But, like, yeah, it was agreed to be S&M.
Oh, God. Question for Arthur. Is that your mom saying, or does she have massive cannon boobs?
This is character development that I have not taken the time to really get into. You know what, we're gonna say that's my mom has massive cannon boobs, and she's had to use that phrasing quite a lot. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with the cannon boobs.
Let's get that art drawn, people. Come on.
We have to give a
description. We're going to slowly describe your character, your mom, eventually over these sessions.
You start asking, I will answer. I promise.
So I've got a bit of a question as well coming up, because we got the ship for one more day. We're gonna a couple of days to travel on here.
3.
Last time we were on the ship for traveling, we just skipped it. We went right towards the city. Would you prefer having the time on the ship to roleplay throughout the days and risk there being like an event, or would you prefer the traveling from point A to point B and nothing happens?
So I always like a good event. I like fights. I know you are the opposite. You would prefer not to be in a fight because that's when players die. But I think in this campaign, we've proven that players can die outside of fights as well.
He's proven my theory wrong. That's his whole point of Gorbek.
It's like the whole point of Gorbek.
He's the 1%. That's it. He's just the 1%.
So I personally like the opportunity to at least roleplay maybe one of the days out. So that way we have an opportunity to discuss different things about each character. That gives us an opportunity to really delve into some of those questions that people have, like where do you come from? Who are you? Like where did you learn to do the things that you do? what makes you efficient at whatever you're doing. But we don't get that if we just skip all of the time and all of the downplay. Um, so I prefer to at least role play maybe one of the 3 days out, and then have an opportunity to roll to see if something happens.
Are you a bit worried that Eric will just roll to see if something happens, and then if something happens, that's the day we'll role play, and if nothing happens, then we don't role play? Because like then it's kind of a red flag. They're like, okay, it's day 2. What are you doing for day 2? Like, what happened to day 1? No, day 2.
Specifically, day 2. What are you?
What do the clouds look like, Eric? Dark and ominous. Fuck.
Damn. No, I'm not really super worried about that because Eric rolls for everything anyway, even if he's not intending on doing anything. He'll be like, "Oh, wait. All right, cool. Let's go."
I just enjoy the sound.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what happens behind the DM screen over there. Well, the actual screen. I feel like he just rolls facetiously and makes things up as he goes to just make me feel nervous about having to roll for something.
EPS 5000 in the chat, our DM over there is saying, damn, they're on to me. Look, I've DM'd plenty of times. I guarantee that's true. I roll because it's fun. I get bored. Y'all are RPing. I'm like, oh, roll some dice.
Ooh, not even that. It's good to see the look on your players' faces whenever you just start rolling stuff and they're like, wait, what's going on?
Especially roll out in the open where one of the players is right next to you and like you see a 20, like your eyes go ooh. And they look down and see a 20 and they look up like, oh no.
Yep. And it means absolutely nothing. But they are actively prepared to do whatever they need to do, and they're highly engaged in that from that point on.
They're so I'm through their paperwork. Shit.
How do I do this? Did I get a long rest? Did I get a short rest? What am I out? Yeah.
It's been a few hours. Can I get a short rest real quick? Like, why? Why are you so worried?
No, I need a short rest.
Several short rests, please. Yeah. I would like to role play the 3 all the days. I like role play. Yeah, I like role playing every day because then you role play the character, and that's how you get interactions between the characters. Like when I ran my game, we role played every single day. I did no time skips the entire time we've been playing. There's been no time skips. You just do the work. Because you guys want to ask a question? Ask the question. Or do you want to do downtime activities? Well, this person wants to roleplay, so let him roleplay.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that. But just a preference, I would say, like if we're doing a long, because sometimes we get into those things where we're like 2 weeks travel, going up a mountain, doing all this other stuff, traveling with a cart, all this other stuff that there's a good chance that there's nothing going to happen. That gets pretty monotonous after a while. So I do like to kind of speed through some of those days to get to wherever we need to be. But I see where you're coming from, and I am a fan of really interacting with other players and getting to know people.
Yeah, for the most part, when you have those longer spans of time, like I generally don't do it, but for Eric's game, I understand that if you have something you want to roleplay during it, just start talking to the person, to the player, or the character in your character, and then the DM's gonna have to let you roleplay during that 3 day at some point because this is the conversation you're having. Because Gorbeck wanted to do a B&E in the middle of the night at the end of the last session. It's like, no, let's do that next session in the morning.
Next time.
And before Eric had a chance to bypass it, Gorbeck's like, well, I wanted to find Milo.
Which could be anything and everything at this point in time. Because we don't know what actually is Milo or Milton or whoever it is.
I would like to find a lamp named Milton. And ask them a few interesting questions of where books are kept. Typically a library.
We're gonna test some favoritism here with the DM, because I promise you, as somebody who played a wizard character who got a book and was trying to learn spells and things from said book and had to read 3, 4, 5, 6 days, sometimes up to 2 weeks with nothing that I do outside of that but reading books to find one spell component.
Well, I believe
this is my safe space. This is my safe space.
Were you looking for spells or how to create items, though? For what I said, you were trying to create. Wow.
It was both. mostly to create items, but I had to learn the spell to create them. So just
Like, some peeps are just better at it than others. Oh, I think he's making fun of you.
oh, he's trying to make fun of me. Oh, okay, well, I was
Safe space.
a
Some people are
yeah
better at
safe
DMing than
space,
others too. Safe space.
safe space. But we'll leave from there.
On the second day on the boat, it's suddenly magical darkness, and there's fiends everywhere. Shit. Why is the darkness following us?
Because Caleb opened the book.
I think it's 50-50 at this point whether that book is evil or not.
I think it's just the way that our DM is reading or reenacting the voice makes him sound evil, and I don't know if it's necessarily
it's his evil voice. That's what he uses for his evil voice.
That's fair. That's fair.
We have no more questions coming in from the chat. Good, because they have great questions, but now it's time for some bad questions from me.
All right, I'm ready for him.
I believe I asked some other people this. Would you like this campaign to go to 20 or lower? Like,
so I'm not bad. I'm not good at like all of the standard campaign stuff. I believe most campaigns probably go to like 13 or 15 and then stop. And that's even pretty high up on the level charts there. I always like to see a character through to fruition. And so I have plans for Arthur all the way up to 20. Will he make it to 20? Who knows? Will the campaign last that long? Who knows? But I am fully prepared to stop Arthur at level 14.
get to where you need to go, stop.
Yep. I am fully prepared to stop Arthur at level 14. But I would love to see Arthur fully played out all the way through. And I would love to see what concoctions and thoughts that everybody else has on the campaign, like on how they want to see their characters played out, because I don't know if anybody else is really, I don't know if people are going to multi-class, if they're playing the same class all the way through. What we don't even know what subtypes or subclasses half the people are going to be, because we haven't hit level 3 yet, and that's where most of the people get all their extra stuff.
Good shit.
Yeah, so I'm always intrigued to see what people do and what kind of thought processes everybody has. So 20 would be fun, but realistically we'll probably get to like 15, 16.
I think the technical average is the most on survey was like that level 10 range, which is a good sweet spot. I like the high level stuff because that's when you get to throw the cool shit at people. Like 3 beholders it is. All right.
Go. You will never cast the spell again. We have 3 beholders staring at you.
It's also a trapped room. Don't step on the wrong floor plate.
We do not have the group for a trap room right now. We do not have the group for it.
We got a smart guy. We also have our rogue is roguish.
Roguish, but I don't know if our rogue and our smart guy can make up for the adventurous mentality of Warbeck. And I think that Gander is not dumb by any means, but I do think he will tinker with things that he probably shouldn't tinker with and cause some issues. And I don't think that we are prepared for those. And if Mizak does happen to make it around for other things and doesn't just stay on the ship, Mizak is going to be problems for us as well.
No, we got to start bringing him with us too.
Because we definitely left him. We left him on the ship last time and got sprawled out and completely wasted by Captain Silverleaf.
He might be an indentured servant now because he was apparently betting money, and I didn't give him that much money.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
I told him how to count to like 5. He was using dice. Dice go up to 6. So.
But I'm happy that Mizak has a home now. I just hope that they actually pay him. They take care of him. That'll be one of my ultimatums.
Let me see the contract.
Yeah, I think I need to know.
All right.
You're paying me, Zach, right?
Caleb, read this for me.
That's exactly how that's going to go down. I was like, wait, you're going to pass me the contract? Problem.
Yes, it seems to be well written. Here, read this for me.
What y'all don't know is, like, whenever we signed for everything up, like, signed for the guild, all Arthur did was just write squiggly lines. It's just doctor handwriting. It looks fine.
What are they going to do? Ask you what it says? Like, it says Arthur. It's a specific signature, sir. It's supposed to look very unique. Do it again. Does it, but it's different. Like, oh, they're supposed to look the same? Different. Shit.
Damn. My bad. Damn.
According to the DM, Mizak got paid, so it's already one step ahead of you.
Good. You know what? We lay the foundation so people can be better.
And then we leave them on a boat. There was the question of why are Jace's questions trash, and the answer is, I'm terrible at what I do.
Wow, I don't think your questions are trash.
Garbage.
I think they're tragic, but I don't think they're trash.
Trashy. Found them by a raccoon. I know you said JK, but I still want to answer the question. Darrow knows calligraphy. Well, so does Izal.
Oh, Izal really does know calligraphy?
Yeah. Izal's not an idiot. That was the main point. Like, she went to formal education, so she knows how to write and do all this stuff.
That's fantastic.
She just doesn't really need it. I don't need to make super smart decisions. I have Gander for that. I just make the better decision. I just make the better decision.
That's actually never mind. I just thought of something, and it's gonna make me look real stupid. I'm pretty sure I am proficient with calligrapher's supplies.
Didn't you have a set of calligraphy tools?
I do.
That's what, because I went to go buy them. It's like, I have calligraphy tools. Like, I don't know.
I do have them,
but
and I'm proficient in them. But I can't read. Mm-hmm.
You're very good at copying the picture that you see.
Yeah.
Like, I can duplicate things.
That's how I got through monastery. I just copied stuff. I just made it look right.
They do have people that do that. They just copy the books to another book. Don't know what it says.
I don't. All of my religious text, I don't know what it says, but I am good at making sure it looks right.
Arthur does line art with them.
That's actually kind of cool. I like that.
You do the on the first letter of all those pages where it's just big and fancy. That's the one you do. You do the art fancy ones. Like, it's cool. Nice. I'm gonna go draw a big snail fighting a knight now.
I'm gonna do that. Snail fighting a knight. I'm gonna it's gonna be a snail fighting an otter.
Otter fighting a knight. Flail snail.
Flail snail.
There's a question about your hit points that I wanted to bring up because you've got the melee capabilities of a melee fighter, but an itty bitty hit die of a D8. What is your strategy going forward as far as going into a fight and when to know when to back out? Because you took about one turn of hits before you realized it was time to back out. Is that going to be an ongoing strategy, or what's the thought process here?
Until I feel more confident in my hit points, it is definitely going to be a very dip in, dip out kind of mentality. I'm probably just planning on attacking the person that is always attacking for the first part or the most part, and then getting my hits, getting my licks in, and then dipping out and letting us all just sit there and womp on him and pull aggro like Izal is supposed to do. Because that last fight, I realized really quickly that I cannot stand in the middle of multiple people and make it. I had to dip out, go drink a sweet nut milk potion, and then throw a dart, and then I did damage that way. And I'm actually pretty efficient with throwing these darts, by the way. I don't know what my count is on damage there, but I've hit more. I think hit my darts more than anything else. So
I haven't delved the numbers specifically for specific weapons, mostly because I attack with like 5 different weapons. Like, it'd be hard for me to keep track of.
But yeah, so no, it's definitely going to be a run in, run out until I can get some more hit points or find some way to bolster them or make myself a little bit more healthier.
Well, neither one of us wear any armor.
At all. So I can't do anything with that.
A couple of naked people just run in there getting in fights. On the plus side, if we get attacked at night, we're just as effective as we were if we were middle of the day.
That's also true. We don't have to worry about donning the armor anymore.
Or
you could just be Omlik and just wear your armor all the time.
Yeah. Because although being you showed me that TikTok, I really love that TikTok. It's a very good explanation for what a barbarian's job is. It's like the job is not to go crazy and deal a bunch of damage, it's to mitigate the damage that other people have. And if Omlik was a prime example in the last campaign, is that yes, he has a lot of hit points, he can take a lot of hits, but he is not an attractive target because he has a very high AC, and as any DM knows, high AC means you're wasting a lot of swings. Whereas the barbarian can go in and have a very enticing look of they're not wearing armor, they have probably a much lower AC than a paladin would, and they're making themselves open with reckless attacks. Like, that's a nice target. I'm going to hit that target. And that's when their high hit points and their mitigation of damage does. Like, they're taking the damage that other people aren't going to take, whereas a big metal bound plate mail wearing paladin's like, probably don't want to attack that guy. He looks like he's a robot. Let's go attack somebody else. Let's attack this half naked person or one of the many small sized creatures in the party between Gorbeck, the halfling, and Mizak.
Yeah. Well, I wish the best for you and your character, just because throughout the history of any of our games and our campaigns, I think we're batting like 1 out of 4 barbarians have survived their campaign. I'm adding one in there because I'm guessing there's one that I missed that I don't remember playing with. But every other barbarian I've played with at this point in time has died, and so I'm really hoping that you break that streak.
Well, I mean, you're playing a monk, and their streak's not exactly great either. In Eric's games, we've talked about this the first time you were on. It's like we are the death-prone classes based on not wearing armor.
Mm-hmm. But we'll keep it. We're gonna hold on as long as we can.
We are trying. Just need to get a little bit more, few more levels to really make it effective.
Yes, indeed. Level 3 would help.
Oh yeah, level 3 would help. That'd be a big help. That's when all of our stuff gets cool. Thank you again, Ari, for coming on. We got a lot of good information about why Sweet Nut Milk is probably one of the dumbest names for a D&D party. Why your mother knows breast, and
Shut up.
the decision to, let Mizak stay on the ship. Is there a death pool question? I don't think there was.
Deadpool question. Who do we think still leads Deadpool? If it's not obvious that I still believe that Gorbeck is the forefront most likely to die at this point in time, I don't know what else to say. But if I'm going to say second person, if I was going to give a second place, because Gorbeck is just going to stay in first place for me for forever.
We're hoping for second now.
It is, I would say, Azal. Barbarian history, very eager to run into the middle of fights. Yes, you're tanky, have resistance, but...
I have a higher AC than everybody else, too.
That only gets you so far, though. That only gets you so far. And if you're the only person in the middle of the fight and you can get swarmed, then I'm going to say Zal's probably the second likeliest.
Believe me, when I run in there and I see all the enemies, my character's like, yeah, cool. My mind's like, oh god, this is terrible. This is a bad idea.
This is the worst thing ever.
Why did I choose this class? Running the combat. Fuck. I agree. Gorbak definitely the top. I would say in combative, I would say Arthur, just based off you're also a melee fighter with 15 the hit points of the wizard in the party.
Yep.
Although that does kind of put Caleb in the situation where if he's dumb enough to keep getting into melee with everybody, then
because he has been.
I would say a tie for second, Caleb and Arthur. Tie for second.
Okay.
I don't put myself in there because I have more hit points. But again, thank you for coming on to the show. This is the Jason with Jace. We went over episode 9 for Arthur of the Deal of Adventures in Athoria by the Black Tower Stories. This episode will be live on Saturday about 12 o'clock. The current past episode, episode 9, is available on YouTube already. So if you haven't already, follow us on our Twitch, because we do our streams every Thursdays and Tuesdays. Follow us on our Twitter and our Facebook and our YouTube. Subscribe and all the good stuff, and you get updated more regularly on what we do. If there's no more questions, no more answers coming from us, thank you all for coming and joining us, and we'll see you all next Tuesday for episode 10. Look.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. Woo.
Woo!
Walking hand in hand on the ocean floor, down deep we wander. Louder we sing, no there is no cure in this together. I don't wanna tell you that it's not real. Nothing is a fairy tale. Everything about you is so one, really won't be pretty when it ends. Now how could I leave with your sweet love on me? Yeah. Something about you always makes it harder. When you got my lipstick on your white shirt collar.